my vacation from Gas Monkey is going to be a permanent one.
One car build changed everything for the man millions knew as the Bearded Wonder. For over a decade, Aaron Kaufman was the heart and soul of Gas Monkey Garage. Working alongside Richard Rawlings on Discovery Channel's Fast and Loud, he became one of reality TV's most beloved automotive personalities. But in 2016, everything came crashing down after he walked away from everything he built. What could possibly make someone leave the garage that had given him fame and the opportunity to work on dream builds every single day? Join us as we uncover what really happened to Aaron.
You know, I don't think so. I've got some things I've been wanting to do for a while, and we've been building cars, we've been really busy. There's definitely a different direction I want to go, and here I can't do both.
The deep-rooted cracks. When Fast and Loud premiered on Discovery Channel in 2012, nobody could have predicted it would become one of the network's most popular automotive shows. The formula was perfect. Richard Rawlings provided the larger-than-life personality and business hustle, while Aaron delivered the mechanical genius and craftsmanship. The show ran for 16 seasons, with Aaron appearing regularly for the first 12. During that time, Gas Monkey Garage churned out some truly incredible builds. A 1966 VW short bus that had been sawed in half and welded back together. High-performance muscle cars that could dominate drag strips. Vintage trucks with modern suspension and drivetrains, and countless other projects that showcased Aaron's fabrication mastery. The fame brought opportunities Aaron had never imagined. He became recognized wherever he went, developed a loyal following on social media, and earned a comfortable living doing work he loved. From the outside, it looked like Aaron had achieved the perfect life, but beneath the surface, serious problems were developing that would eventually tear everything apart. Fans who watched Fast and Loud regularly witnessed plenty of heated arguments between Richard Rawlings and Aaron Kaufman. Richard would push for faster turnarounds and lower costs, while Aaron would insist on taking the time necessary to do quality work. These confrontations made for entertaining television, but they were symptoms of deeper problems that had been building for years. The fundamental issue was this: Richard saw Gas Monkey Garage primarily as a business, and Fast and Loud as a television show that needed to produce content on schedule. Aaron saw the garage as a place to create automotive art and Fast and Loud as a platform to showcase quality craftsmanship. Those two visions were fundamentally incompatible, and the tension only grew worse as the show's success created even more pressure to deliver builds quickly. Aaron later explained in interviews that the last 5 years he spent at Gas Monkey felt like 20. The relentless deadlines, the pressure to compromise on build quality for the sake of filming schedules, and the constant presence of cameras documenting every moment took a serious toll. What had started as a dream job gradually became something Aaron dreaded. The pressure cooker environment created inevitable conflicts. But beyond the general stress, one specific build became the final straw: the De Tomaso Pantera project. In an interview with Art of Gears, Aaron was brutally honest about what that build represented and why it marked a turning point in his career at Gas Monkey. The Pantera was a complicated, high-performance Italian sports car that required extensive fabrication, custom parts, and meticulous attention to detail. It was exactly the kind of challenging, time-intensive project that Aaron loved, a build that would push his skills and result in something truly special. But it was also completely incompatible with Fast and Loud's production schedule and format. "I wanted to build cars that were that big or bigger," Aaron explained, "and then TV needed cars that were much smaller than that. On top of that, there were some growing personal issues and professional differences of opinion. And so I decided the time had come, and I could see the fork in front of me." That statement reveals everything about why Aaron ultimately left. He wanted to pursue ambitious, complex builds that would take months and showcase the absolute peak of his fabrication abilities. Television wanted quick turnaround builds that could be completed within filming schedules and explained to general audiences who might not understand the technical complexity. Aaron stood at a crossroads: continue compromising his vision and values for the sake of the show, or walk away and pursue the kind of work he was truly passionate about. For someone who had spent his entire career mastering his craft and described custom building as not a job, but a way of life, the choice became clear, even though it was terrifying. But the Pantera build wasn't the only factor in Aaron's decision. In a 2018 interview with D Magazine, Aaron opened up about his relationship with Richard Rawlings and revealed just how much their partnership had deteriorated by the time he left. Aaron revealed that he and Richard had fundamentally different values about how to treat people, how to run a business, and what mattered most in life. They had worked together successfully for 14 years, but those underlying differences eventually became impossible to ignore or work around. By the end of 2016, Aaron had made his decision. He was leaving Gas Monkey Garage and Fast and Loud to strike out on his own, even though it meant giving up a steady income, national television exposure, and the security of working for an established shop. It was one of the biggest gambles of his life. So how did Richard Rawlings react to Aaron's departure? And what happened when Aaron finally sat down to tell him he was leaving? Walking away from everything he'd built. The moment Aaron Kaufman told Richard Rawlings he was leaving Gas Monkey Garage was captured on camera and aired on Fast and Loud. That conversation, filmed at the end of Season 12 in late 2016, gave fans a glimpse into the complex emotions both men were experiencing as their 14-year partnership came to an end. Aaron initially framed his departure as an extended vacation, perhaps trying to soften the blow or leave the door open for a possible return. But he later clarified that he was leaving permanently. When Richard pressed him for details, Aaron quoted Stevie Nicks, saying simply, "I think I have to go my own way." For Richard, the announcement was devastating. In a December 2016 blog post on GasMonkeyGarage.com, Richard addressed Aaron's departure and made clear it wasn't his decision. "I want you all to know that it was not my decision and came completely out of left field. Aaron has been a part of Gas Monkey Garage since day one, and it will be a painstaking process moving forward without his talents." Richard's statement revealed genuine shock and hurt. He clearly hadn't seen Aaron's departure coming, or at least hadn't expected it to happen when it did. After working side by side for 14 years, building Gas Monkey Garage into an international brand and creating a hit television show together, one half of that partnership suddenly walked away. But Richard also pushed back against any suggestion that Gas Monkey Garage couldn't survive without Aaron. "It is a big hit to GMG," Richard wrote, "but please note that it would be an insult to everyone here at Gas Monkey, who has been putting in the work these past few years, to say that we can't do it without him. Gas Monkey Garage is not one person. It's not two people. It's a team." Richard ended his blog post by emphasizing that drama would stay away from the cameras. He wanted to maintain professionalism, protect the show and Garage's reputation, and move forward without public feuding. To his credit, Richard largely succeeded in that goal. Despite whatever private frustrations he might have felt, he didn't trash Aaron publicly or turn the departure into ugly reality TV drama. Aaron showed similar class in how he handled the situation. He didn't burn bridges or create controversy for attention. He maintained that he and Richard didn't have personal problems, just different visions for their careers. The two men reportedly remain on friendly terms to this day, even if their relationship is much more distant than it once was. In March 2017, Fast and Loud aired a special reunion episode called Fast and Loud Revved Up, where Richard and Aaron came together one last time to look back at their partnership. The episode gave fans closure and allowed both men to acknowledge what they had built together before going their separate ways. So what did Aaron do next? How did he turn his departure from Fast and Loud into a new beginning? Building the dream on his own terms. Within months of leaving Gas Monkey Garage, Aaron Kaufman founded Arklite Fabrication and opened his shop to the public in early 2017. The name itself was meaningful. Arklite suggested illumination, new beginnings, and cutting through darkness to create something bright. For Aaron, it represented freedom to build the kind of vehicles he'd always dreamed of without television deadlines or production schedules dictating his work. Aaron made his vision crystal clear from the start. Arklite Fabrication would specialize in vintage Ford F-100 pickups from 1957 to 1979, focusing on complex resto-mod builds that took serious time and craftsmanship. These weren't quick flips for television. They were one-of-a-kind builds that might take months or even years to complete properly. The shop was originally located in Dallas, Texas, before later moving to a new facility in Grand Prairie. Aaron assembled a small team of skilled fabricators who shared his passion for quality over speed. Together, they would create custom suspension systems, aftermarket parts, and full resto-mod conversions for Ford F-100 enthusiasts who wanted something truly special. But starting an independent custom shop is incredibly challenging, even for someone with Aaron's reputation and skills. He needed capital for equipment, space, insurance, and operating expenses. He needed clients willing to pay premium prices for time-intensive builds, and he needed to somehow maintain visibility in the automotive world without Fast and Loud's weekly national television exposure. Fortunately for Aaron, Discovery Channel came calling with an offer that would help solve some of those challenges while giving him a platform to showcase his new venture. What happened when Aaron got his own television shows? Did they succeed where Fast and Loud had failed him? Shifting gears, and Aaron needs a job. In March 2018, Discovery Channel premiered Shifting Gears with Aaron Kaufman, a new show that followed Aaron and his Arklite fabrication team as they tackled ambitious builds and competed in challenging races. Unlike Fast and Loud, which focused on flipping cars for profit, Shifting Gears was about maximizing performance and exploring different aspects of car culture through hands-on participation. The show's first season followed Aaron and his crew as they took on wildly ambitious projects that would have been impossible under Gas Monkey's time constraints. In early episodes, Aaron built a semi-race truck with help from father-son duo Bob and Justin Ball, despite the seemingly impossible deadline for Pikes Peak International Raceway. The project was plagued with arguments, mechanical failures, and the constant stress of racing deadlines, but Aaron pushed through to compete anyway. Season 1 ended on a cliffhanger when Aaron's semi-truck began falling apart during multiple races in Colorado Springs. Fans were left wondering whether the project would ultimately succeed or end in spectacular failure. Fortunately, things didn't end too badly, and Discovery Channel quickly announced Season 2 would premiere in September 2018. In Season 2, Aaron and the Arklite team built a rally car from scratch, then learned to race a Subaru Impreza in time for the famous Olympus Rally. Again, the team was plagued by mishaps on race day and didn't take home any prizes, but the journey itself provided compelling television. The season's final episodes followed Aaron's preparation for the Race of Gentlemen, a vintage beach drag race frequented by hot rod enthusiasts. Aaron painstakingly restored his Model A dragster and Harley WLA motorcycle for the event, only to suffer a serious accident and injury that overshadowed the race itself. That pessimistic ending, where everything that could go wrong did, left viewers feeling deflated rather than inspired. Shifting Gears wasn't renewed for a third season, likely because its tone was too negative, despite Aaron's obvious talent and passion. Viewers tuned in hoping to watch Aaron succeed on his own terms, but instead, they watched him struggle with failures, accidents, and disappointments. The show was more realistic than Fast and Loud in that sense. Real builds often fail or face major setbacks, but it wasn't what audiences wanted to see. Despite only lasting 2 seasons, Shifting Gears was financially successful for Aaron personally. He reportedly earned $50,000 per episode, totaling $300,000 across both seasons, a significant income boost that helped keep Arklite Fabrication operating during its early years. In 2019, Aaron tried again with a different concept. Aaron Needs a Job premiered on Discovery Channel, following Aaron as he explored various professions and industries outside of automotive work. From piloting an F-16 fighter jet to exploring scrapyards and learning how to properly shred old vehicles, the show highlighted Aaron's curiosity and willingness to learn new skills. Aaron Needs a Job was somewhat more successful than Shifting Gears, thanks to its creativity and varied content. Fans enjoyed watching Aaron outside his comfort zone, bringing the same dedication to learning new crafts that he'd always brought to car building. However, despite a positive reception, the show only lasted 1 season and was not renewed for a second. The cancellation of both shows left Aaron in a challenging position. He had proven he could carry a television show as the lead personality, but he hadn't found the right format that audiences would embrace long-term. More importantly, he was back to relying primarily on Arklite Fabrication as his main source of income and professional identity. So, how did Arklite Fabrication survive without television revenue? And did Aaron face any major crises with his new business? The struggles of independence. Running an independent custom fabrication shop is brutally difficult even under the best circumstances. For Aaron, the challenge was even greater because he was competing with established shops while trying to build a reputation separate from the Gas Monkey name. In mid-2019, rumors began circulating online that Arklite Fabrication was closing permanently. Fans noticed the shop had gone quiet on social media, stopped posting updates about builds, and seemed to have disappeared entirely. Speculation ran wild that Aaron had failed in his attempt to go independent and was shutting down his dream business. Aaron quickly addressed the rumors in a July 2019 video posted to Arklite's Facebook page. The truth was that Arklite hadn't closed, it had relocated. The original shop and showroom had shut down, but only because Aaron and his team were moving to a new, larger facility that better suited their needs. The move created a temporary disruption that made it appear the business was folding, but in reality, Aaron was investing in expansion. The relocation showed Aaron's commitment to making Arklite work despite the challenges. He wasn't giving up when things got difficult. He was adapting and finding better solutions. The new facility gave Arklite more space for equipment, better workflow for complex projects, and room to grow as the business matured. By 2020, Aaron was actively working on new projects and exploring different aspects of automotive culture. In an April 2020 interview with Fast Air, Aaron discussed his newfound passion for racing and high-performance vehicles, explaining how competing in events like Pikes Peak had opened his eyes to aspects of car culture he'd never fully appreciated before. Aaron also diversified his income streams by doing development work with tuning companies like Life Motorsport and Sierra Cars. Sierra builds single-seat, center cockpit recreational vehicles, and Aaron tested one at Pikes Peak years earlier. These partnerships allowed him to apply his fabrication skills to different types of vehicles and projects beyond just Ford F-100 resto mods. According to Celebrity Net Worth, Aaron Kaufman's net worth is estimated at $8 million as of 2024. That's a substantial fortune built from his Fast and Loud years, his 2 subsequent television shows, his work with Arklite fabrication, and various partnerships and endorsements. While $8 million isn't Richard Rawlings level wealth, it's more than enough to live comfortably and continue pursuing his passion for building cars on his own terms. The financial security gave Aaron freedom to be selective about projects, taking on only builds that genuinely excited him rather than accepting every job that came through the door. It also meant he could weather slow periods without panicking about making payroll or covering overhead costs. As of 2025, Aaron Kaufman remains deeply involved in the automotive world through Arklite fabrication, which continues to operate out of its Grand Prairie, Texas facility. Aaron is active on social media, particularly Instagram, where he posts under the handle @Arklite, sharing photos and videos of current projects, hot rods, choppers, and the custom builds coming out of his shop. Recent social media posts show Arklite is thriving as a business, with a steady stream of Ford F-100 projects in various stages of completion. The shop has developed a strong reputation among truck enthusiasts seeking top-tier restomod work and willing to wait for Aaron's team to do the job right. That niche focus has proven successful, allowing Arklite to charge premium prices and maintain profitability without the pressure of fast turnarounds. Aaron has also been hinting at new television projects on the horizon. According to fan comments and social media buzz, Aaron may be working on a new show centered around America's most famous highway, Route 66. While nothing has been officially announced by Discovery Channel or other networks, the speculation suggests Aaron hasn't given up on returning to television with a format that better suits his current interests and values. Perhaps most importantly, Aaron appears genuinely happy and fulfilled in his current life. There's no hint of regret about leaving Fast and Loud or wishing he'd stayed at Gas Monkey Garage. Instead, Aaron seems to have found exactly what he was looking for when he walked away: the freedom to build cars on his own terms, at his own pace, according to his own standards. Did Aaron make the smartest decision of his life? Did Fast and Loud lose its heart the day he walked out? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.